Let's reshare these. Come back, come back to me. Let me share it again. Okay.
Boom. Done. I go straight to the comment now. I mean, the copy link thing now. I don't even fool with that share button. Somewhere down the way, it stopped letting me share. So now I just do copy link and do my thing.
Yeah. All right. All right. I don't know what that was, but okay, all right. Let's try this again. Let's try it again. We've had almost every kind of technical difficulty you can have in the years of doing this.
Man. What is Teresa Brown Lewis? Is that her name?
Uh-huh.
Was that her list? Okay. I'm trying to tag her and I didn't want what oh well, it shows up in the comments. I was trying to say the whole name. But it shows up in I'm sorry, sis. Whenever you do tag back in, I'm just trying to make sure you don't miss the show. Hmm.
Okay.
Oh, it's not working for me.
The new one isn't?
No, this one's working. My tag attempt wasn't working. Hey, sis, welcome back. Shout out to Shanae for who was never mad or never slow about sliding into my DMs and letting me know when we're having some problems. I appreciate you very, very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sonya. She had slided and told me too that she was having problems. So thank you.
Good looking out, people. That's what we do. That's family right there. Don't have us out here talking to the internets for nothing. Talking to the dead air. Me and Wynn talk to each other all day. We'd rather not just sit here.
Listen, I just want to say publicly that you're not going to take Shanae completely because she be she
We can
be
share. I'm good with that.
okay.
Just saying, it was my inbox that she said that.
I sent her an inbox the other day and she still ain't responded. So I just want to throw that out there. I just need I just need to announce and throw that out there on the show. Like, just do better, sis. No, I'm kidding.
Ooh, now I look like that Cardi B gift. Not for awkward. Because we like had a whole hour and a half
That's what
conversation.
I'm saying, and I know y'all have. And I'm like,
See, now you done got us in trouble, sis. You see what you did?
She was my friend first. And
You got us in trouble. Oh my goodness. Here I was about to get all it's my DMs, and now I'm like, oops, shut up, sis. That ain't your assignment. That ain't for you. He's not talking to you. Oh my goodness. I can catch a hint when it's dropped. That one was not for me. Oh my goodness.
all right, Lizzo. So we were talking about Lizzo.
Yes.
So I would say this: I didn't care for it. I will have to say, like, I okay. So let's just. I'm a big guy. There, I just think there are certain things that don't look right on me. I'm of the mindset that there's certain things that they don't fit my body shape. They don't you know what I mean. So I don't wear them, and I think that like we've entered into this place where you can't say that to people. Like that just doesn't look well on you, and something is wrong with it. Like we're just supposed to just be like, I'll do what you want. It's okay. But but I also say that by saying, throw on top of that, if that's what she chooses to wear, that's what she chooses to wear. I just don't think it looks good on certain things. So I don't even think the comparison, like to compare her and Rihanna, to me doesn't make sense because they have two totally different body types.
Yep.
So, and I'm sure the opposite would be true. There are some things that she can wear that look wonderful on her, but put it on Rihanna, you'd be like, nah, let's just don't do it. So,
Mhm.
so it's not about, to me, it's not about her size. It's about like there are just certain things out now. And I agree in the sense that if I've never seen Rihanna with something like this on, with her, what you were saying, with her out.
Nipped out. No, I've seen it. They actually brought it back up. They did the side by side of her, and she had the sheer. It had some beadage. I mean, sequiny things. Like she had more embellishments on it to give the illusion of sheer
Was it that see through?
evening gown. No, that's what I was saying. Like there was embellishments and things that made it appear as though it was a sheer evening gown situation. It did not look like a swimsuit cover up
Right.
or
It looks like
like she was going to a club. It was an evening thing that she was going to. It was shock value that was happening. You know, that was the difference. So
yeah, I don't think it's the same thing.
yeah,
I just don't think it's the same.
it's not.
And I think for us to continue to do that as a culture just doesn't make sense to me. Like there are differences in, again, people can do whatever they want, but you can't get upset if somebody has an opinion that what this person wears doesn't, like, it just doesn't look right on you. Like tight shirts right now don't look right on me, but give me a couple more months and I lose some weight, I'm going back to my medium shirts and it'll be fine to wear. But right now, I'd look like the, you know, the biscuit roll that's pop open and the biscuits coming out. It just doesn't look right to me. That's just, and that's me. So
there are certain trends that I don't rock either. And I think that is having a level of self-awareness that you choose over shock value.
yeah,
There, you know, based on your, and that you don't have to be to Lizzo level to be able to make this mature decision for yourself. We see people every day that we know that are trying to create an aesthetic to fit a mold that is not them. Sometimes if it's just not you, it's just not you. I'm short and I'm thick on the bottom. I can't wear all this stuff that scrunches up from my knees to my ankles. Like that's not cute for me. That's not cute. I don't care if Meg and Cardi and all the other chicks rock it. That does not work for me. I'm self-aware to know that that trend is one I'm gonna have to watch on the runway and leave it there. That ain't cute for me. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know why that's hard. That's a decision that I make for me. I also don't put on scrunchy bottom pants and take pictures and post them on the internet and then get upset when people say, "Ooh, that scrunchy bottom pants look, that ain't really your move. That ain't really for you, sis."
yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Right. See, you got to know what you can rock, Shanae.
you can wear.
You got to know what you can do. You got to know what
you can wear. Absolutely. I can wear a suit. I can wear a suit.
That brother can hang a suit now.
What you're not gonna see me wearing is them pants, them karate looking pants that stop like above my ankles. And
there's a lot of people that shouldn't wear those.
That just doesn't look well on me.
There's a very specific body type.
That's just not me.
I homeboy with a specific set of skills. There's a very specific body type.
Right.
They can rock that.
I look like Oompa Loompa with that thing, with that on. Just don't do it. I just don't do it. So, yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. Oh yeah, this is okay. We might need Clinton for this. This one says, the post says, stop going out on dates if you are not ready to have sex. In the comment to the post says, women expect men to take them out on dates and pay, but don't expect us to want sex. I'm saying stop going out on dates with men if you're not ready or don't intend on having sex. I know the free meal and feeling and looking good is fun, but no man likes to be misled, and we all want to be effed on. So stop playing. So Latavia asked the question. I've heard don't go on vacations, but are dates really included now? This has never been an obligation for me. Is this really an issue for people off social media? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm I agree with Latavia. I've heard this about vacations. I've actually agreed with it as far as vacations go. If this person is speaking about, I take you out on one date, maybe even two, and now I expect to have sex with you, I think that's trash. I'm not going to co-sign that. If he is making a statement as it relates to what I think he's making a statement on, I think it's more or less to, if you are a person who has opted out of sexual intercourse, period, without a serious commitment, marriage, any of those types of things, I think you should not enter into relationships or situationships or spend excess amount of time with men who have made it perfectly clear that that is not their goal. I think that is a waste of his time. And women do it all the time, hoping to magically manipulate a man into waiting, and that does not happen. So if that is what this person is speaking to, I can see where he's going. Although there's a better way to say it, but I mean, it is what it is. But, if it's just one or two, I do not agree with this. But if he's upset and over being manipulated by women who all of a sudden now, in the midst of, after a certain amount, now is also, no, I don't wanna. And this man has made it perfectly clear that he is into physical sex. He wants to have sex at some point. That needs to be something that we discuss. And that's not what you're for, then I think you need to be cool. Sit down somewhere. I don't co-sign that.
So you're saying if he's made it clear that this is what he wants and it's not what you want, don't go.
Yeah. Why? For what?
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think you're right. Yes, that's absolutely what I'm saying. And if that's what he's saying, then I can agree with that. I can see where he's going.
But if he's saying don't
date unless you're giving it up. Date one, date two, just because I'm spending money.
No.
That's trash. Grow up, sir.
Yeah. I wonder, so I agree, absolutely agree with you with both of those. I think the thing that I was wondering is what is happening before these dates. Because we've talked about this often too. Like, at least we grew up, I think you too. We grew up in a time where before you went out on dates, you like spent time talking on the phone.
Talking was what we called it. We just talked.
We talking on the phone for time, you spend some time talking, and then you like get the opportunity to kind of know each other on that, and then decide, okay, yeah, this is working. Let's move to this next phase where we're going out on a regular basis. So if that's what he is referring to, I still can't necessarily say I agree fully with it, that a woman should be okay with having sex in order to go on, like should be like, all right, I know if I'm going on a date, I'm having sex. But I could at least under the assumption that you all are having these conversations, I can, again, if like you said, if he said that this is what he wants after you've talked and you still do it, then this is his expectation. But I don't think that that happens now. I think that from what I see, a lot of people meet, they exchange social media.
They already have it.
Yeah, they don't even really do phone numbers anymore. It's like, what's your name on Twitter? What are you on Instagram?
Your handle.
What's your handle? They exchange that, talk on social media or through social media for a little while, and then, which might be a little safer to be honest, but then phone number. But nevertheless, it's not. They don't have those intimate conversations to get to know each other. They're just kind of talking through posts, so to speak, or maybe through the DM. So if that's what's happening and they're not having serious conversations or deep conversations, then this makes like no sense to me, because I don't think there's an expectation set in those conversations.
No. No, I think you said two things I want to touch on as far as the opting for social media over phone numbers. In this day and age, it's easier to cease communication with someone that you've only had phone contact with easier than social media. Once you've become social media friends with someone, that algorithm, even after you have unfriended and blocked a person, those connections, those random likes and things that have made since then will still link you back if the right things align. So I don't know why we got so comfortable with opening up our entire lives to people, especially people that you've had the opportunity to meet face to face first. That's something that, because I was raised, of the mind of, we have stages to this, there's levels to this, we do talk first. And we have to remember that we were dating prior to social media. The phone number was the goal so that you could have those conversations, but essentially you were meeting, you had put your eyes on a person, you knew they actually existed, you had some connection to them in a real world situation before you began even having those kinds of conversations. So now people can see you on social media, be able to check into your whole life. They can feel they know you based on what you've shown. So they can have an idea about you before they've ever been given access to who you actually are. So I think, as far as how the confusions we have a false sense of intimacy based on access. Because I see you all the time, I feel like I know you, which is why we get so bent out of shape when we get unfriended by people we ain't really friends with and we've never seen. You know what I mean? Like, there is a misconception that I actually know you, that I have intimacy with you. You know what I mean? That I owe you something based on this access that you've granted me. And I think that is why people feel so quickly about, you owe me something. I didn't wasted all this time. You've been scrolling. You scrolled me all this time. I don't owe you nothing because you keep scrolling on my page. Like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? You here anyway. So now all of a sudden you upset about this time suck. It would have been me or Candy Crush. Which one, bro? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? So this whole thing that we've got wrapped up, we've changed how we engage in real life based on this social media thing. And it's really warped. It's warped our value system and how we choose our forever real life people. It's so crazy. So crazy. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that shenanigan right there.
Yeah. Right. I'm with you.
Yeah. That's what I can't get into with this new stuff, this newfangled mess.
Mike said that's just foolishness. You date to get to know a person, check their mail cabinets at all. I would agree with that.
Take them bottles.
But you got to be letting their house first. Yes. Yeah. Sinead says if he's a man that feels like one day you should just grab $40 and save yourself a headache for you.
Yeah. For everybody involved.
It's almost like I get so that I get, because I saw a meme the other day that was talking about like the cost of going out every weekend, and it was like adding it up. And I'm like, I get that it's an expense, like dating is expensive. Trust me, I get it. But I'm like, this to me is why one of the reasons why it never made sense to date multiple people or to just be willy-nilly with my dates. Like, to me, I got to be selective because
an investment.
Yeah, because it's an investment. So to me, talking and trying to get to know you, get to know if this is something that I want to, to invest my money in this time, my money and my time, then I can do it in there. And I'm going to check for certain things in this conversation consistently to see if we have alignment in these areas. Like,
yeah,
and knowing and of course a person will have to know what those areas are in order to be able to do that, because it is absolutely, for a man, an investment with money and time. So I gather that, but I've never thought that it made sense to try to equate my money, financial investment, to getting some sex, especially like if the goal is sex, you don't need to go on a date. You can get sex without a date. So just to throw that out there. Actually, you could probably get more learn how to talk on the phone, but I'll write that book later.
You're right, though. There are ways around worrying yourself with the imagery of dating. Like, what are you really doing for? Either do it, is you ain't, as the old folks say. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you dating for real, or do you like playing in people's faces? Figure it out. Because you save yourself a lot of stress if you just go get what you want. It's out there. It's plenty of people out there that's perfectly fine with just giving you what you want because they want the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sinead says it's a certain demographic for this. Usually women that post expensive plates on Instagram without him in the pic, and the type of man that feels expensive date equals sex. Yeah, I'm sure it is. There's a demographic for everything these days. So I'm sure there is. But I think if we want, I think, like I said, we want a lasting. Well, let me not say that, because to them that could be a successful relationship. But yeah, nevertheless,
the more we have these conversations, the more I'll be like,
the more you be like, I'm staying my behind in this house.
yes, right here. I feel like, what is it, the Squidward where he's got the
stay your behind in the house.
Yeah, I don't want it.
It's a different world.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Let's see, next one.
Or that, sis.
Pretty much. The major problem with modern dating: men want to date before they are established. Feminine. Women want to date after they are established, with this masculine. I didn't understand the feminine masculine part in there, but I made an assumption, but
foolery.
Yeah. So the major problem with modern dating is men want to date before they are established, and women want to date after they are established. I heard a discussion about this. So yeah, I'm interested in your thoughts.
The major problem with modern dating is memes. I've realized that the major problem with modern dating is memes. It allows us to change our thoughts and our desires and our basic common damn sense based on 22 words that fit in one square block and an emoji or two. Change the game. Okay. Now, with that being said,
before you say, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
I read I don't know if you remember. Well, anyway, pastor said that Chuck DeGroat put up, said that a pastor friend of him said that after pastoring for 15 years, his heart is broken because he realizes that after doing life and teaching this community for 15 years, he now does not have the same type of influence as a social media meme.
And that sucks.
It's everywhere.
It's terrible. Like, y'all know, this has been one of my sincere frustrations with the way that conversations have turned. We can't have real, thoughtful, critically thinking, common sense based, just what is this that we're talking about, conversations based on a few randomness, random shock valued work. And the posts, some of the posts that we're going to talk about later on are also prime examples of why we can't have real conversations based on a few parentheses, you know what I mean? A few bullet points, facts, truth, real.
Pretty much.
So yeah, I'm with Pastor on that. As much as I love me a good meme, they killing us. But to this particular meme, I think humans wanting to expect others to come to them to fill voids is what's our issue. You need to be stable. You need to be able to take care of yourself if you plan on sharing yourself with other people. Basics need to be covered, period. I don't think anyone expects 401ks that are stacked where you can retire tomorrow. I don't think anyone is expecting you to have a winter house and a summer house and you renting 2 properties. Like all of these things sound good on memes, but does not make for real life at these stages. Like if you are actively dating, these are not like if you're actively dating and not just single. Actively dating, not just single with a list. Okay. If you are out here doing the thing, and I'm in conversations with people who are actively doing this, these things that we get to discuss aren't things that they're actually discussing. People who are single and are sitting talking with these types of lists. But if you're active, you realize these things don't matter like that. Are your bills paid? Or when we leave out this dinner, is your car still gonna be here? Like, those types of things need to be covered. The bases need to be covered, but none of us are that together. Or if you were, you'd be with somebody. Like, sorry, I might be doing too much on that, but like we doing too much, and I just don't think this is the right direction. Yeah, I don't. Have your ish together. 1, 2, 3. Everybody take care of your business.
Yeah, and I think I think even in that instance, like if you don't, Like, I think, yeah, you definitely want to be in a position where you can take care of yourself. But I think we also have to like asterisk that and say that there are obviously times when people don't. Like, there are times in marriage when a person can't. And so, so if you're single, like, that doesn't disqualify. I don't think that being in the single space that disqualifies you from it, because I think that once again that we're tying value to it. And again, I say that with the understanding of saying, like, I'm talking about this is a momentary thing, not this is your lifestyle.
Right.
Like,
And I mentioned the separation to
yes,
separate the mindset, the
yes,
the actual actions being taken.
right,
Like, that's what I'm not saying.
right. Absolutely. I know you're
Yeah.
not. I know. I just wanted. I wanted to.
Me too, because you're right. It's good to clarify.
Yeah, because I think we're not trying to tie value to money again, but we're saying, like, when you come to a relationship, you want to come being as best as possible in as many ways as possible, being in a position where you are able to add value,
right,
and have as less liabilities as possible that you're bringing to a relationship. We all bring liabilities to a relationship, but as less as possible. So, because we are on this journey, I don't necessarily think that. I think the way you described it initially is the original problem. Is that we're all, because both of these, a man wanting to be established, men wanting to date before they're established, and women wanting to date after a man is established or after they are established, both say exactly what you said, and that is, don't come to me expecting me to have to do any type of work, so to speak. If we go back with relationships to work, but any work, but you need to come already, completely together. And I don't think that that's the reality. I think the reality is that none of us do. So whether you have money, whether you don't have money, it's all still coming down to, you have to be a person who is ready to invest in the other person. And if you're not ready to invest in someone else, then that is the problem with modern dating. Because you can't say, well, I'm financially established, and just because I'm financially established, it means that you're ready to date, or you're a good person to date, or you're a person that somebody should want to date. None of that is, and just like vice versa, just because you're not established doesn't mean you can or cannot. It's a little more intricate than that to just put that blanket statement out there.
Yeah. What was also interesting about this, before we move on, I noticed that it's almost hard to even follow what this meme is trying to state, simply because, like, it's highlighting the fact that, like, these parentheses are killing me. Men want to date before they are established feminine, which is exposing a vulnerability that is a very human stage in every person's life. Like, every man has gone through a stage where they have needed something. I have not met a man who has come out the gate with everything that he needs. Even the men that I love, respect, adore would say, this is the type of man you want to be, would set my son behind and say, yes, these are the type of people that I want you to model your best things behind. Have gone through some points where they were a liability, where they had a deficit, where they needed something. Multiple. So this is by calling it feminine. These are the type of people that I want you to model your best things behind. That sounds so crazy in playback, but now we're calling your humanity feminine.
Yes.
So now we're emasculating your very real need. Okay. Absolutely. And this masculine is making the fact that a woman wants to actually establish herself, achieve a goal, be more than just something that cooks, cleans, takes care of children, the stereotypes. Now she's no longer her feminine self. Her actually killing it and winning as a woman is no longer seen as something that could be an attribute. Now she's considered masculine. She's not operating in her feminine energy because she got goals. Like, what is this even trying to say? Is progression the downfall of our modern dating? Is that what we're saying?
I think this is just saying, I honestly think that this is, I think what this is really saying is, we don't know what we're talking about. And, right. and again, it doesn't, we don't really know what we're talking about. You find, like, the real problem with modern dating is, I think the real problem with modern dating is, we are so in a rush to try to find someone who we're so first of all, we're so defensive that we won't let anybody see who we really are, and and we're not willing to go through the process of growth, which is what real relationships, real dating, real marriage, real relationships that last go through seasons, and they're all about growth. So wherever you are, because inevitably the other great part, and I don't know how this happens, is that I can guarantee you that the one that you are ahead in one area and you are deficient in the other. And typically the person who you wind up with is ahead in the area that you are deficient in, and vice versa. So you are supposed to help one another. We don't want to do that. We want to be defensive. We want to be demanding. We want to make sure that the other person has their stuff together, because nothing says, nothing says healthy relationship like I have to expose myself and be vulnerable and sit here and be accountable to you. No, that's not what we want. We want to look like the meme. We want to look like the social media meme where we got the nice car, the nice house, all the stuff looks well, where we matching outfits, and like we want that stuff. And that's a result of working through all of the other ugly stuff. But it is not where we start. No one starts there. And I think if nothing else, and I'm gonna use them because for years we were like, Will and Jada are the perfect relationship, and now we all like, hold up, this is messy. Like,
nope.
It's a whole lot of stuff going on that we didn't recognize. We all go through it, and we all have to. And you gotta find someone who you are, the biblical term, or equally yoked with, and then find someone who you want to do work with, like you want to go through the endeavor with. You gotta find someone who you want to endeavor with, and then and that's how you get to a healthy. That's where you get rid of the problem.
I done lost my train of thought. I had something I was gonna say too. Damn endeavor. The hell.
Endeavor. It's not work. I had to try.
Yeah, you tried it all right. Endeavor. You can't endeavor with people who do that like you do me. There's no endeavoring to be done with people who follow those types of memes.
All right. You have anything else on that one?
No, I'm good. After that, let's move on.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, this one was mine.
Yes. So, okay, yeah, I'll read this and then you can say, because you posted a question above this.
Yeah.
So April Mason posted, ladies, I've been teaching you this. Listen, if you don't know to automatically leave space for a man to help you up the stairs, or even think to ask, this might be why you attract men who aren't gentlemen. You might be walking around with the I got it energy and not even realize it, as well as you haven't set a standard for yourself. You can't expect people to treat you a particular way if you don't even have a standard. Only you can teach people how to treat you. No more of this they should know talk. Even if they don't know, in a kind, warm way, you can guide them to know today. Carry on. All right, so go ahead and tell them your
yeah,
because your questions to this.
So, for those of you who have not seen this clip, this is a clip of Nicki Minaj accepting an award at one of the more recent, I believe this was recent, award ceremonies. So she is walking up to, she's approaching the stairs, and she pauses and she looks back and like motions her hand out like, can you help? And Lil Wayne scurries his little self across the whole front row and up the steps and does his thing, puts his hand out and helps her up the steps. So this made me pause, and I thought to myself, okay, so like I believe that I like to believe, and I've been told that I operate in a feminine energy. You know, people open doors for me. There's a certain, you know, I don't get talked real crazy to when I'm out and about and all that type of thing. But I am very much a I don't shrink. I'm not a sit in the corner and wait to be spoken to type of woman. That's not my jam. Okay. So you can take with that, you can assume what you want from that. It's probably accurate to a certain degree, but I am not a sit back and wait for, oh, and by the way, hey, I'm cute. How you mean? You know, that's the type of woman that I am. So I often wonder, especially as I age and I encounter different people in different situations, I wonder if that does not sometimes mute a little bit of that energy that would cause a man to not just open a door, but to take off running when he sees you're approaching a step, or take off running when he sees, oh no, Miss Lady, I got to stop his conversation to open his door for you because you're just walking. You know what I mean? Or do I create the space for a man to do that? Do I ask? You know what I mean? Do I ask for assistance? I don't generally. I'm not a ask for assistance type of woman. Now I'll stand and wait for a door to be open for me because like that's what I've been taught since I was little bitty. But as far as being helped up steps and things like that, no, the men at the Back to My Roots fashion shows have to remind me when they're literally standing, their big broad shoulders and open hands right there on the sides of the steps. Like in practice, they have to remind me, sis, like let me help you up the steps. Like literally put my hand in their hand. Okay, let's go up the steps, because it's not one that I do. And I don't know if it's because I've been married for so long. So if my man isn't there with me, I'm not really open to attention or assistance from other men. So I don't know if that's turned off a non-romantic energy that is still one that's very natural and necessary, or all those things. So it did, as a woman who tries to be self-aware and can always be room for improvement, watching this happen this way made me pause and question myself. So I did wonder, like, as I am killing it and doing all of my wonderful things, does that sometimes dull or mute that part of my femininity when I'm not aware of it? Like in my subconscious, am I not aware? And I asked the ladies if they thought that this was something else, and they didn't. Not really. I was pretty solo dolo in my self-reflection in the scoop, but I do want to ask that question. And I think if not put in the social sphere where people can pick apart your answers, I still invite you, sisters, to ask yourself that question.
Yeah.
What did you think, Win? Was I tripping for asking this question?
Absolutely not. I think that's a good question. I think that I wish more people would ask, because the way I interpreted it was, am I, like this whole masculine feminine energy thing? I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I don't understand it, because I think some of the things we call masculine aren't masculine. So, right. But I think what you were asking was, do I make, like, how do people see me? Mm-hmm. And that was fine. Yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong with the question. I think like I was more so diagnosing like why that happens in general. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes there is I think there is an expectation, and when the expectation has not been met, that we do turn it off. Mm-hmm. Like, because it's like, all right, it either bothers me or hurts me, and so in order to not have to continue to revisit this or experience this, let me shut this off. And so sometimes we just don't expect it anymore, mm-hmm. which in a lot of instances is probably healthy, or necessary. Maybe not healthy, but necessary for us to do. I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like I agree with April though with her post. Like, I think that there's nothing wrong with what Nikki did with saying, hey, listen. And she even put up another video of where she did it
with her jacket and or going up steps. And she mentioned furthermore that like all throughout the experience it was happening. Yeah.
I think that a lot of times that culturally, that I think what this is to me, what it made me think of was how well I, in the spaces that I am modeling this, because I do think that this is a lost thing for young men. Mm-hmm. So in a lot of instances, we're not teaching young men anymore that to hold open doors or to like I can remember early on my mother and other older women teaching me that and rewarding me for it. So it became something that I naturally realized that this is something or thought that ladies liked. And so I did it and did it for any and everybody, not recognizing like this wasn't a thing that everybody was doing. So it was just a norm for me. So I can see that if people aren't being taught this anymore, then we have to get back to teaching that. Or as a lady, if this is what you expect, just saying that, like, hey, can you help me up the stairs? I don't think anything's wrong.
And I also believe, because you speak from it from you speak to it from a young man, now grown man perspective, and I speak to it from at one point a young woman being taught these things and now a grown woman. And I was also taught as a young lady, when a young man opens the door for you, you say thank you.
Thank you.
You know, you show respect. Like when he holds your chair for you, if he grabs your bag, if he carries your books, if he, you know, does what you're thankful. There's not an entitlement because he didn't have to. You know what I mean? That you were there. There's always been balance with it, and I think sometimes us as women allow our collective frustration at what we are exposed to.
I was coming for that. Yes, but go ahead.
Whether it be direct or indirect, we will allow that to affect how we respond in real time thoughtfulness to us. And I think that has made it so that it is harder for someone to want to get to that. And now we have come to it, whereas, well, you should just want to. Well, why? Why? None of us just want to keep signing up to be shown disrespect.
Disrespected.
You know, and I don't think anyone is super entitled to, or no one, man or woman, should be discounted because they do not continually stand up, volunteer to be degraded. I don't know where the threshold is for I've been disrespected enough, so now all of a sudden you magically become respectful of me. And I get that. And I hear it often. Even when we ask the question, could we be better? As a woman asking other women, sisters, is there a little bitty space for us to maybe do this a little differently? Not even better, but differently. It's nope.
But I think probably again it goes back to I think we're now projecting. I think we're projecting our pain of a previous situation, even if it's happened multiple times, onto the next situation. So, you know, if I've had 4 young ladies walk past me and, you know, talk crazy or act, you know, because I held the door when I held the door open for them or not say thank you, like this 5th one might. And so I'm taking out the response of the previous 4 on this one. And so I think that's the part, you know, we've talked about this in the context of a relationship or of restoring relationships, of saying that, listen, we've got to be more gracious to one another. And this is, to me, is another opportunity as a man and a woman in this scenario to be more gracious. Like if my expectation as a woman was unmet, then I have to, you know, protect my heart to the point where I don't allow, you know, anger or bitterness to get in to where maybe not so much I don't expect, but I don't respond well when it happens, or I temper my expectations. So if it doesn't happen, then I'm not like, oh, man is, you know, not gentlemen. And as a man, that if I do meet a woman who does not, or a lady who does not respond well, that doesn't mean I'm no longer going to hold the door open for a woman. Or if I do and she doesn't, I'm going to respond like, "You welcome," like the dude in the video did, you know. So I'm not going to.
I haven't seen that video.
He held the door open and she said something. She was talking on the phone and he was like, he said something crazy to her and like, "You welcome," and he had attitude and walked off like I'm not, you know. So I think it's on both ends. We've got to look for those opportunities to be the one that says, you know, that is gracious, that's merciful to the other person, because that could be the time that she's like, oh shoot, somebody did do that. All men aren't like that. Or he could be like, you know what, that one lady made my day because she responded. You know, she said thank you, or she saw me, or looked at me and smiled, or whatever. You
She
know,
responded back. Yep.
responded well, as opposed to in the other instances they didn't. So we just got to be more gracious with each other, man. We got to be more gracious with each other.
Yep. And self-reflection can be okay. Like, it's healthy. Self-awareness is very healthy.
Yeah. Which is why I appreciated the question, because the question was you self-reflecting on yourself. So I thought that's good, and we should be comfortable. We should comfortably step in that space. So, Shanae says, I subconsciously stand back or wait if there's a man behind me entering or exiting. Men usually just grab the door for me. I also hold the door for them.
Same. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, let's keep it moving.
It is 9:30. Yeah, we're going to have to keep it pushing serious.
Can y'all believe me and this man was dating for 2 years, took trips together, was closing on a house, got matching tattoos, and he ghosted me, blocked me on all social medias, and now I'm finding out because he got married.
Yep. I could believe that. I can also believe you won. That ain't who you wanted. If he was able to create that whole faux life with you in preparation of a new life with her, and she didn't know she still skippied and scurried her butt down that aisle, ma'am, you won. You'll cry. I'm gonna tell you like my mama tell me, Jesus rose.
Jesus wept. Jesus wept and got up on the third day.
You be all right, sis. You good. You good.
You say you won. I agree with that, but I have questions. Like, I got questions.
How do you not know?
First of all, what kind of matching tattoos did y'all get? Let's start there. Like, I got questions.
It could be them little circles and things, randomness that he can explain away.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like, some of this stuff, I'm like,
it happens though. When
no, it happens. It definitely happens.
Yeah.
It definitely. I'm just saying, but like, I'm interested in I'm interested in understanding, like, was she around his family?
That don't mean nothing. Family.
It does.
I was about to say, boy.
I just want to I know, trust me, family will cover for you. But I'm just saying, like, I want to know, like, were you around family? Because if she was, I want to talk to the family, like, y'all bogus for that. Y'all knew what he was doing, and y'all still let him go do all of this with her. That's absolutely wrong. That doesn't happen in my family, but I'll tell you that story later. Taking trips, that can happen. Like, it's just the whole, like, y'all have this whole life. I think the biggest thing I want to know is, first of all, you mean tell me you ain't never went through his phone? Oh, did he hide it that well? Or have multiple phones? What was this thing?
There's a lot of women who don't do the phone thing.
I know. I just got questions. Like, I want to know, like, again, I'm not blaming her at all. I
know.
You know, yeah, like, did he never post you on social media? Like, because he's bold. Closing on a house?
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like, ooh, now that's just too far now. You closing on houses together? So what happens to this house? Like, he just didn't show up.
I still don't know. I still don't know why we are responsible. We have to get blood tests, but we don't have to get credit checks before marriage. I don't know why that is not a requirement. Why that is still just optional. Before you go down there and literally sign your name, your life away, man or woman, why do you not have to go down to that courthouse and they run that OSB, that deep, you need a government job, deep type of background check. You get security clearance, deep type of background check on the person that you're getting ready to share your life with. Because as soon as you say I do and jump that broom, all that debt, all them babies, all that whatever, all that deed, all of that is yours. Sis could come if his name is truly on that house they closed on together. She could now.
The credit report.
That's what I'm saying. Why we not? I mean, credit report back. That's what I mean. All that should be entailed. That OSBI bad boy come with all of that. We can find out your criminal history, your money history, your all your charges. I need to know all of those things. I need to know. I don't know why we don't do those. I don't know why that's not a law.
They go to marriage counsel. They didn't go to marriage counsel. Like
that's not required either.
No, it's not. But I'm saying, but most of the things I know that I'm saying, but most of the people who I know, pastors or like these are all the things that we're saying. Like, let's look at this. Have you pulled the credit report? Let's go through them. Like all of this stuff is. Have you pulled their criminal background check? Have you done that? Have you pulled and seen their physical? Like all of these are things that we talking about in counseling. So are they? That's why I'm like I have questions. Like I'm just again I'm not saying she did anything wrong. I'm just interested in this journey that they went on. Courtney said, I want to know how the heck she did not. I really didn't. Like, I do want to know how she didn't know, but I'm not saying she's not right for not knowing.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if he is engaged to another woman or dating another woman, that is absolutely on him to disclose that information. Like, why are you setting up a whole separate life?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. We got to get through these. So, yeah, that's a.
And yes, Shanae, I know you would turn that wedding out. You would come in there fly as hell, bebop down that aisle, and
absolutely. Let's get to this handyman. Handyman. All right, where's my? Oh, this is a lot to read, so let me.
About the daughter.
You remember handyman? Yeah.
Naked baby.
Yeah. So this is the handyman. Here you go on another one. This is what I have to go through when dealing with the general public in the hood. Every other day is some BS. This lady is crazy. I cannot make this up. Somebody please tell me what I did wrong. So here's the conversation. Good morning, handyman. I have a bone to pick with you, sir. He said, pick it. She says, you told my daughter she was dressed inappropriately. You come in, you refuse to come in and do the work. What you don't trust yourself? Are you a pervert? The F. She said, ma'am, she came to the door with only a t-shirt on. I could see t-shirt on and I could see her underwear. She invited me in. I only asked her, do I need to wait outside until she gets dressed? That's all I said. She said, no, she's at home and that's the way she dresses. Up in your house. He said, I didn't want to be up in your house all along with her, and she's dressed like that. So I told her that I would come back later when you was home, and I left. I'm not refusing the work, and no, I'm definitely not a perv. I'm not understanding this. She says, you came to my house to do work and not to look at my child. She was in bed and came to the door to let you in, and she would have went back in her room. But since you were so worried about how she was dressed and clearly, basically she called him a pervert again.
Mm-hmm.
She called him a pervert again and said she got somebody else to do the work.
Good. All money ain't good money, handyman. Robes are for everybody. Mama was wrong. You should be telling your daughter, do not answer the door in your underwear. Period. You don't know who that man is. Get your money, black man, with another woman. That was a problem waiting to happen. That energy that came to that conversation, the fact that she was bold enough to come to that door naked for a stranger. No. Protect yourselves, kings. Straight up. This is stupid. This is nope.
Handyman did nothing wrong. You dodged the bullet there, sir.
Yep.
You dodged the bullet, and the money, the money's not worth it. The money was not worth it there. And I'm be honest, I salute him for doing that, because there's a lot of people who just would have went in, like you said, did the work, and then would have had to take the, you said it, sir. You set a standard now that, hey, listen, this is the way I do business. This is the way I treat women. This is the way I treat especially young ladies. You're good. You're good with me.
Mm-hmm.
I think you did right.
Yep.
And I think you did. I think the way you handled the text was actually very professional as well, because you called me a pervert one too many times. I'm gonna call. I might have responded not in the name of Jesus. So I think you handled that well.
I knew he had some age on him. He was a wise man when he said pick it. Like I said, oh, come on, grown ass man, pick it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I got a bone to pick with you, sir. Okay, pick it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
He keep peppermints in his pocket. And the man keep peppermints in his pocket.
He got a little, yeah, he probably chew tobacco too, but anyway, his leadership is needed and appreciated. Absolutely. Courtney says correct, because she called that man out his name a couple of times.
She did.
A couple of times. Yeah.
Yep.
We got to stop that too. Like, y'all, come on, let's stop doing that, because that ain't even. Because you call somebody.
She should have thanked that man for having more respect than her daughter had for herself.
Yep.
She should. You know what? You're right. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yep. My bad.
Yep.
in message. I'm sorry for wasting your time today. My bad for bothering you.
Can I reschedule?
Yes.
Yep. That's the bad part. We got 8 minutes. What do I want to deal with this? It's gonna take longer than
April.
Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't have enough April. We can't dig into that this week. We're gonna have to build that up a little bit.
That's gonna be longer than 8-minute conversation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead and tell the people about Elegance by Design.
Elegance by Design, you say? So I really wish I should have swiped a picture of Keith. I should have swiped a picture that she posted this past week. So this here mousse, y'all. I told y'all about this mousse last week. I reminded us that brown girls too can use mousse. Okay. But I also want to let you guys know that locked lovers, locked ladies, locked brothers, locked people can also set our hair with products like our Silk and Sassy Curly Mousse. Excuse me, y'all. I'm so sleepy. And you can set your locks quickly. You do not have to saturate your locks with tons of products and sit under the dryer for 59 hours to only have limp curls and sets, okay? This product right here is amazing for your locks. So if you follow Elegance by Design, I will be sure and share a picture soon of what this amazing product can do for your locks. Our very own Kels uses this product as well as our Sexy Shane Cocoa coiling custard. So you have options for your lock care, okay, and your hair care as far as setting your coils, your sets, your rod twist outs, all of those things. We have options. So whether you like a light mousse for your hair, or you like something with a little more weight on it, like a custard or a cream, elegancebydesign.com is where you need to be. Or you can slide on over to Dale City on the south side and visit the Back to My Roots marketplace and pick you up. All of these items are in stock right now.
All right. You got any other final words for us tonight?
In preparation for next week's topics, because I have a feeling we're going to be cultivating more conversation around this going forward, I want us to put ourselves in the mindset of, is it okay for me to not be right? And what do I gain from learning from someone else's situation? Because we have gotten so wrapped up in being right, being perfect, being together, that it has gotten us so far away from the very things that we need, that we are screaming from the rooftops that we need from each other. So before we have some of these conversations that we plan to have going forward, ask yourself, before you comment, before you disregard it, before you look for your experience in it, ask yourself, if I were to remove what I think from this and not be right, if I could still be a good person, if I was not right about this, what would I gain from just hearing them out? And just think about that. You could add any topic to that, plug in any subject to that. But as you engage with the scoop over the next week, ask yourself, try and ask those questions before you engage, because I think it would position our responses differently if it was okay to still be a good person if you thought a little bit differently and maybe came out with a different perspective. And if you weren't initially right about it, if you had something to gain, would you be okay? think about those things and have a good week.
That's good. That's good. I don't really have anything. Get my book.
Let's get your book.
Get the book. Get the book.
Get the book.
Get the book. Surviving Relationship Storm. Get the book. That's not the only thing I got.
bit.ly/blue storms.
Other than that, there's no Clubhouse tomorrow.
Oh, okay. We're not.
I don't think. Yeah, I might, unless I do a pop-up one, but as of right now, there's no Clubhouse. I got to preach Sunday, so I got a bunch of stuff to do.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm studying, so I won't be moderating tomorrow.
Yeah, so we probably won't do a Clubhouse tomorrow. So if you don't follow us, already on Clubhouse, y'all go to the Scoop on Clubhouse, and you can follow the Clubhouse, even if we're not having one. So that way, anytime we go live, you will get a notification. So let me tell y'all. So last week, my mother called me to tell me. She say, well, I ain't tell you the first conversation was how good the book was. And I was like, you know what? I can die happy now. My mama said my book was good. So I'm happy. So I appreciate that. Second conversation was her going, I can't believe some of the stuff you wrote.
Yeah, mama. I'm out here living this marriage life. I lived it.
Yeah, I did. She wasn't talking about the marriage stuff. She was talking about some of the other. But I was like, yeah, I did it. So it was good, but it was good, really good conversation. So I am not a person who really lives that much on the opinions of people. But I do really care about the opinions of the people in my inner circle. So to hear those people, when those people say, well done, I'm happy. So that did my heart, especially to hear my mother say it, because she probably understands me better than anybody. So
yep. She knows your heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, other than that, good show tonight. We done. We
technical difficulties and all. We did that.
We just ain't gonna do April. We can't do April tonight because that's gonna take too long. So
we ain't gonna be able to do that.
April gonna take more than 8 minutes. You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna say that. I wonder if I can get her to come on the show.
We cannot afford her at this point. Have you not been? You don't follow her, do you? Yeah, I don't think we can afford her. Not yet. That's a future goal. We'll put on the vision board. I can see it. Just save your email today, though. Like, don't do it today. That first impression, we want to have some money. We need some coins.
Some quad, right? Don't be offended, Shanae. I only called you out because I care. Though I did. I can show you. I inbox tug.
Receipts.
I know she talking to Q. I know it.
Don't put me in that. That's y'all's own communication structure. Okay? We hadn't talked in like 2 weeks, and then we talked for like an hour and a half. So.
Nah, I figured she was busy. I'm just like, I was like, and then because she wasn't on the show, she wasn't here last week either. Was she? So I'm like, I get this thing like if I don't with people. Like if I don't see them for a couple of weeks, I'm like, let's go find. We gotta go find. Yeah, like, we don't have to do this for Alyssa, so it was like I did something.
Oh yeah, we'll hunt them down. Where you at?
Yeah, I do it church Sunday. Like I told him, I said, if you didn't show up today, I was coming to find you because last week I said where you at, and I saw you and didn't get to talk to you. But if I didn't see you today, I was coming to get you.
Yep.
So yeah, so no, that's a good thing.
Go seek your people.
Love you
Seek
too.
out your people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next week for another great show. If you haven't hit the share button, hit the share button. Y'all, thank y'all for your comments. Thank you for your support. Thank you for growing with us. And I mean in numbers as well as as a community. So have a good week. We'll see y'all next week.
I was ready for the "If This Is Goodbye" right there. This is goodbye.
Good night.